everybody. This is Tuesday, January 23rd, and we are attending the Council's Government Operations and Regulations Committee meeting. I am detecting a quorum with myself, Councilmember Benton, Councilmember Hill, Webb, and Wiener. We only have 2 items on the agenda. We have no individuals signed up for public comment. So moving into resolutions, I have RS 2024-173. This approves a contract between the Metropolitan Government and Center for Internet Security, Inc. to provide cybersecurity services and real-time operational support services. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? Okay, any discussion, any questions on this one? All right.
Just, someone asked a question about this, and I think I already know the answer. These are very specialized, or do we have, is this your expertise?
Yes, sir.
These are very, very specialized functions, right? So, and that's the reason why we're putting them all together. And this is a 5-year contract, is that right?
It is.
For $1 million, so it's $200,000 per year.
It provides enough for the Multi-State Information Security Advisory Center, which is a division of the Center for Internet Security.
Right.
It's a CISA-funded organization. It provides us just a little bit of room if we want to consume more of their service offerings down the road.
All right. And my question is, was this a sourced contract, or is this a single source? How did we come across this one?
Sole source.
Okay, sole source. All right. Any other questions or discussion on this one from the committee? All right. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I've got 5 in favor, none against, and 0 not voting. All right. Bills on second reading. We have BL 2023-136, Horton, Huffman, Evans, Segal, and others. This amends Section 6.28.035 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws regarding the review of appeals made to the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board. Before we go to the amendment, can I get a motion on the bill?
So moved.
Second. All right. And we, like I said, we do have an amendment. I believe I have to move. We move the amendment first.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. All right. Motion to move the amendment.
So moved.
Second. All right. The sponsor is here. Would you like to go ahead and kind of talk about the amendment?
Yes, so what the amendment does, and I can talk more about the full bill afterward, is it adds an additional condition to the proposed standards of review provided to the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board. What this additional condition is to allow the board to consider remedial action when evaluating appeals made to the board. This is really a codification of existing practice. The board commonly considers these criteria if the appellant has taken some action to correct a mistake they made once they've been informed of it by the zoning administrator. The board finds that a useful consideration, and they're already doing it. So what this amendment would do is codify that existing practice to allow the board to consider such remedial actions.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion or questions on the amendment?
No, I support the amendment because
All
it
right.
makes sense.
Then all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? I got 5 in favor of the amendment. All right, so going to the bill as amended, I'll turn it back over to the sponsor if you want to go ahead and talk about the entire bill.
Yes, thank you. So this is not a pro-short-term rental bill. This is not an anti-short-term rental bill. What it's intended to be is a good governance measure. The Short-Term Rental Appeals Board, unique among the many boards established by Metro, including the BZA, which used to hear these appeals before the establishment of this board. It's unique in that the council hasn't provided any criteria or guidance or standards of review for the board to consider when hearing reviews. This has created significant uncertainty on the part of appellants, on the part of the board itself, and the broader public on how appeals made to the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board are going to be decided. And it's created at least the risk of perception among the public that the board could decide similar cases differently. Basically because they're allowed to, and they're allowed to consider anything they want or nothing at all. So what this bill does is provide, with the amendment, 4 criteria for the board to consider in deciding appeals, whether there was intent to commit a wrongful act under the code, whether there would be injury to the neighboring residents or property, whether it would be undue hardship on the part of the appellant if relief is not granted. This remedial action is the subject of the amendment, and a kind of general catch-all one to make sure that if we grant relief, it would not impair the intent or purpose of the code.
Okay. Any questions, discussion? All right. Roll here with all right, so we are on BL 2023-136. We've already passed the amendment, so no further questions or discussion.
I just want to say something before you adjourn. Just go ahead.
Okay. All those in favor of the bill, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that brings us to 7 in favor, none against. I will add before we adjourn and before we get to Ms. Hannah, Erin Williams from the mayor's office who handles Hub Nashville, we've been trying to get her to come to a meeting. There were some questions about Hub and just kind of give a review to members of the committee about Hub. And so we're trying to get that scheduled in. You know, this meeting was supposed to be last week and it was going to be a one-day all committee, so we decided to wait. So hopefully the next time we meet, Ms. Williams will be here to kind of give everybody an overview of Hub Nashville. And again, what I want to try and do throughout this year is to try and bring individuals representing the groups that we are overseeing, to kind of give us information about those groups so we kind of know what's going on, which will be beneficial when we get in the budget season. And with that, Ms. Zeitlin?
So this is a little bit of an oddity. So at the beginning of the meeting, the sheet says that the quorum is 5. It's actually 6. Could we re-vote on that first resolution now that we've got a quorum, just for posterity?
All right. So RS 2024-173, Porterfield, Bradford. Do I need to read the caption again or just?
No, I think that if you guys can,
All right.
this is, yeah.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And none against? All right, so that will make it 7 in favor, none against. Do we need to re-vote on the amendment for the last bill?
I think that should be okay.
Okay. All right, if there's nothing else, we stand adjourned.